on at 7. Okay. All right, Larry, if you want to do that, we will welcome everybody and we can get ourselves started.
It's coming up on Facebook.
You're on, Lynn.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the February General Meeting of the SemDems. My name is Lynn Moira Dictor. I'm the chair. And we have a lot of people here and a lot of things to get accomplished. And this is my first general meeting, running this meeting along with Tracy Kagan, my vice chair. And we have lots of exciting things to tell you about today. Our agenda is jam-packed with things. We are going to celebrate Black History Month. We are going to have a surprise phone call from Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy. We're going to talk about voter registration. We've got lots of things, exciting things to talk about as we turn Seminole County blue. So that's the story right now, but we always want to start. I want to call the meeting officially to order at 7:01. And if you would join me and rise to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll stay standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you very much. And again, welcome to our February meeting. It is a very busy time, believe it or not. It seems like an off year. We should have a little bit of time to catch our breath, but we don't. We are doubling down. We are really focusing on so many exciting things. And yeah, so that, we may have our special guest here in just a moment. Sue, we do have quorum though, right? Let's just make sure.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have quorum.
Excellent. All right. If we could approve the 2021 general meeting minutes. Nadia, are you here? Nadia sent them out earlier today. Has anyone got, does anyone have any changes, additions, amendments to the January general meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the January minutes.
I move to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Rob. Is there a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Tracy. We have, now, Larry, we have to put up a thing, right? We have to put up a vote. Oh, there we go. Okay, you should see something there for those who are voting members. You can either approve, yes, approve the minutes as, hosts and panelists cannot vote. Oh, I guess that's me. Okay, good. All right, well, that's right. I'm not allowed to vote anyway, from what I understand. I'm trying to get all the rules and regulations on here. So
panelists are allowed to vote here. So.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's give people a second to push the button, a yes or no, to accept the minutes. How do I know when we have enough?
I'll give it another 20 seconds, and then we'll. Right now we got 43. I'll share the results in a few.
Okay, great. But I can move on. Yes.
Do you want to? I just got a text from Lauren. Also, do you want to make her?
I'm gonna stop the polling right now and share the results.
And we got Lauren. Is Stephanie Murphy? Are you telling me that
you need to make her?
Yes, Congresswoman Murphy is on, so we're ready to bring her in.
Okay, great. All right. So before we go to our treasurer's report, let's do that. We're going to make her a panelist, and we want to welcome our special guest for our February meeting. Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy represents all of Seminole County and a little bit of Orange, but she is absolutely ours, and we are very proud to have her here. Welcome to the SemDems. I don't see you, but I don't see you.
Hang on, I'm promoting her.
All right, hold on. We're putting you into the panelist bucket, and then we will put your face on the.
It's taking a moment for some reason.
All right, hang on just a minute. This is like my technology nightmare, but we're gonna find her. Hold on.
She's in cyberspace.
Right.
Come on.
All right.
I am trying to make her a panelist, and it is not going anywhere.
Is it because we have too many? Do you want people who like?
No. We're not limited.
Oh, there's Lauren. I see Lauren on the. Now she's on my screen.
Let me allow Congresswoman Murphy to at least talk while I'm trying to get her.
Larry, you got her in.
Oh, she's in. We just need her to unmute herself.
Finally came through.
Okay, nope, she's in. And yeah, if you would unmute yourself and turn on your video if you can, we will welcome you to our February meeting.
Oh, see her. Where is she?
Hey everyone, I think you just promoted me. The Congresswoman's on
you did
separately.
Congresswoman.
She's what?
The Congresswoman's on separately on her own account.
Okay.
No, she's in the meeting here.
Okay, well, I don't see her on my screen, but maybe you can help me. Oh, yes, I did promote you, Lauren. That is true.
Well, she's showing up as an attendee, and even trying to allow her to talk is not functioning for some reason.
I don't see her on the screen either.
Weird.
Let's see.
No. Too many panelists, maybe? Do you need to remove some panelists?
Well, that's what I asked. They said, no, it's not.
Panelist is not an issue, no.
You have to unmute her on our end. All right, was that right? And request her to turn on her video. We have to unmute her on our end and then request her to turn on her video.
Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Did she drop?
Did somebody promote Stacy B by accident?
I don't know.
I don't see the Congresswoman on the list any longer.
Okay.
Lynn, would you like
All
to
right.
maybe move on and then we'll come back to her? When
Yes,
she's
we're going to
back?
come back once we get this technology. You know, this is always dicey with these Zoom meetings, but we're going to welcome Stephanie when she gets here. But in the meantime, let's do our treasurer's report. Jorge, are you there?
Oh, she's there. I just saw
There
Stephanie
she
Murphy
is.
pop.
Yes.
There she is.
Okay, excellent.
Sorry about that.
No,
The
it's not.
world of Zoom and broadband, which clearly we need more investment in Florida.
That's right.
My apologies for that.
Well, welcome to our meeting. We're so excited to have you. Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy has been representing our area for what? This is your third term, just recently elected for her third term. And she has been all over the news as of late. I saw her on MSNBC on Saturday with Alex Witt, and we were yelling at our house, Stephanie's on TV. It was a big deal. Anyway, welcome to our meeting. We're very excited to have you. Why don't you share what is going on in your life and how we can stay connected?
Thanks so much, Lynn. I really appreciate it. You know, hello, SemDems.
Hello.
I am so
Hello.
excited to be with you all. I wish we were in person. I know you guys have a full agenda for your meeting tonight, so I'll try to keep my remarks brief. But, you know, it's really important for me to join you tonight to reiterate my commitment to turning Seminole County blue. First, I want to congratulate Moira and Tracy on their election as co-chairs of SemDems, and also thank them for their courage this past cycle to run for office. We're lucky to have you both, and I'm so much looking forward to working with you and the rest of your leadership team. We also have a lot to be proud of as Seminole County Democrats. We organized and we turned out the vote for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And I also want to thank you all for your efforts on my re-election campaign. You know a lot of us were disappointed that many of our incredible down ballot candidates didn't win. But I'm encouraging you all to run again. And let me say one more time, I encourage you all to run again. And if you do, I'll have your back again. As some of you may know, I launched Developing a New Generation Political Action Committee. It's also known as DANG PAC. DANG is my maiden name, but Developing a New Generation. I launched this PAC in 2017, basically to help develop a new generation of Democratic leaders across Florida and the nation. And last cycle alone, DANG PAC invested more than $30,000 in Democrats running for Florida House and Senate. I also spent more than $250,000 in field and GOTV efforts to turn out Democrats right here in Seminole County. And you know, I'm so sad and it's so unfortunate that we came up short. But we're not going to give up. I am committed to continuing this fight alongside our candidates up and down the ballot in 2022. And I'm hopeful that you guys will stand with me too. You know, this week, National Republicans put me on their target list again. And 2 Republicans have already announced against me. One of my opponents, a city councilman right here in Seminole County, encouraged violent uprisings before the January 6th attack on our Capitol.
Yes, you
And the
did.
other Republican actually participated in the Capitol attack and is a QAnon supporter. So this is QOP. You know, who do they want to be? And they, you know, I think they keep coming after me because they're mad.
Right?
They are mad that no matter what they try, we always win. And that's because I have people like you, the SemDems, at my back to fight off these attacks. And for that, I'm forever grateful. You guys were at my back when nobody thought I could take on the giant of John Micah. And because of you, I know I'm in this seat, and I'm never going to forget that. And that's why I continue to pour resources into this community and this organization, because I know what you can do when you have the resources to fight back. And let me just be really honest with you. I'm really concerned about the future of our country. And I say that not just in the sort of like, you know, political perspective of, oh, I'm worried about the direction Democrats or Republicans are taking us in, or the partisanship, etc. I'm really concerned about the future of our country from a meta perspective. It is no doubt that the January 6th attack on our Capitol was shameful. And it was a dark day for America that's going to stay with us for a long, long time. And I'm a refugee. You know, my family escaped tyranny that was imposed by the Vietnamese government. We know what political persecution looks like. We know what elections that are unfair or tyrants who try to overturn democratic processes look like. My family escaped the tyranny that was imposed by this kind of government. And this country, America rescued us. And America has been a beacon of democracy for my family and so many others. And I love my country. And it's the reason I'm so heartbroken by what happened last month. I'm heartbroken not just because of the experience I had, you know, someone who loves this country so much, who believes in our democracy, who believes in our system of government, who found herself hiding in the basement of the Capitol while insurgents roamed about around me and above me, hurting law enforcement, shouting their intentions to hurt lawmakers, declaring their intentions to change the outcome and disenfranchise a significant part of this country who had come out and voted in that last election. And I just can't explain to you how deeply that affected me and how much it made me sad and it made me angry. But more than anything else, it made me determined. Because let me be really clear. This was a domestic attack on our government. A violent mob sought to obstruct the democratic process and overturn our election. And these violent rioters desecrated the symbol of our republic, the United States Capitol. And this was nothing less than a seditious attack on our nation. And I'm deeply disappointed in some of my colleagues for fanning the flames of this violence. And I'm praying that America never suffers such a dark day again. But if we pledge to do what we must to protect this fragile democracy, I'm confident that tomorrow is going to be a better day. And that's the reason why I voted to impeach Donald Trump for incitement of insurrection. And why I think the Senate should convict him. And I think as we heal from the day, is my sound off?
No, you're good.
Okay. You know, as we heal from that day, I'm really focused on doing the job I was elected to do and working with our new president and vice president to build back better. And I'm fighting to get COVID relief done as quickly as possible, including vaccines in arms and money in your pockets, and Florida being treated fairly and equitably, recognizing the challenges that we have given our demographics. And I'm proud to serve on the House Ways and Means Committee, where I just wrapped up right before I hopped on this call. We're moving $941 billion of the $1.9 trillion of the relief package. And I'm working to try to keep our country safe. You know, this Congress, I am super proud to be back on the Armed Services Committee. I had to get a waiver because I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, and so they don't let you do that. But this Congress, I was able to stay on Ways and waive on to Armed Services. And just a few weeks ago, I introduced a bill that would make it harder for people who participated in the January 6 attacks or who support QAnon to get federal clearances. Look, if you can't get a federal clearance because you may have bounced a check in your past, you certainly shouldn't be able to get a security clearance if you sought to overturn our democratically elected government. And I don't think that if you want to destroy this government, that you should be given access to our government's most classified secrets. It earned me a spot on Tucker Carlson, which brought out the crazies, but you know, I'll wear that as a badge of honor. I'll wear that as a badge of honor that I did something that so threatens him and what he wants to do to this country that he bothered to spend a bit of his monologue on me, because I must be on the right path if Tucker Carlson is talking about me. And I'll tell you, in the months ahead, I'm going to keep fighting for our shared values to pass common sense gun safety reform, combat climate change, pass the Equality Act, and get dark money out of politics. And then we've got to lower prescription drug prices. And there's so much more that we can do. And we can do it together with a Democrat in the White House. And so, look, I am just so honored to keep working with many of you to flip Seminole County blue. And hopefully we will defeat Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio next year. And together, I know we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. So thank you, SemDems, for hosting me tonight. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. I hope you stay safe and be well. And can't wait.
We're so glad you were
to
here. We're so glad you were safe. We're so glad you were safe. And we're so glad that you're ours. And we're so glad that you call out Rubio and Scott regularly. All of that is so wonderful. And thank you for standing up for all of us, especially the Democrats, but the whole community. It is so uplifting to know that we have you, we have you in Washington, and you absolutely do have our back. And we know that, and we can feel it from there. So thank you very much for being our special guest on our February meeting. Thank you. All right. Glad that you're safe too. That was a very harrowing time, and I'm glad that she's safe. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. We are going to move along. She was just going to drop in. That was kind of a special treat. And I do have a couple of business items. Just okay. I got a note from somebody that the Facebook Live is not streaming. Are we on Facebook Live for sure? Because I got a note from somebody that it's not working, but I just want to double, triple check. And
I've got it up here and it's tracking.
Okay, it is. Okay, awesome. Okay, no problem. Maybe there's a problem on their end. No worries. Let's go to, okay, not to worry. Let me just go back to the agenda, and we will move on. I think we were at the treasurer's report. Jorge, are you here for the treasurer's report, please? I can't see if he's here or not, but there he is. Okay, I see that he's chatting, but how do we get him on? How do we get him on the line? Or
I'm
on.
working on it. What's his
Larry
name?
will do it.
I just promoted him. He should show up.
Okay, there he is. Yep, I see him. Yep,
There we go.
there he is. Okay. Could you give us our fair treasurer? Could you please give us our treasurer's report, please?
But of course. You can see that?
Yes.
Yep, just a high level view. Our beginning cash in our bank account was $8,744. We had $1,876 in contributions. Those were mainly due to all of our Act Blue donations and a few Shopify purchases that were non-recurring. And then our expenditures are $2,206, a little bit higher than our contributions. We're going to have some recurring services fall off because we just went on to a new email service, so we were charged twice. We had some outlier fees, like for the Democratic Committee at the higher level for the state. I believe, extended our PO box service for the office, so that was an additional fee. The security for the meeting in December, and our utility bills together between rent and power was $173. So we should expect our expenses to come down a little bit, and then obviously have a little bit more contributions as we begin to grow in the year. And that should be it. Moira, I think you're on mute.
And you are absolutely right. My dog started barking, so I muted.
No worries.
Welcome to the world of Zoom. Are there any questions or comments from the chat box or questions for Jorge before we ask for the approval? Can somebody check the chat? I don't think I saw it just a moment ago. I didn't see anything about it, but let me just double, triple check back. People are just saying hey to you. Okay, so we're good. Okay, seeing no comments, Larry, can you put up the vote for the to approve the treasurer's report, please?
We need a motion.
Yes, indeed, we do.
I'll make a motion. This is Sue Denick. I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Okay, Sue moves to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Now you should see, if you are a voting member, approve the treasurer's report. And we'll give it a couple seconds here. Oh, good. The chat people are really approval. Oh, that's nice to know. In the chat box, I see a lot of people saying wonderful things about the Congresswoman, and it is nice that she wanted to drop in. Somebody in her office reached out, and so we are happy to welcome her. She is one of us for sure.
10 seconds on polling, and I'll shut it down.
Okie doke. Couple more seconds, people, if you would please vote on approving or the treasurer's report, and then we will move along. Okay. Michelle Humphreys. Okay, excellent. 100% approval. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And now we will move to the legislative update. Michelle Humphreys, are you here? I'm not sure I told Larry about this one. This was one that I didn't remember when we had our chat. Oh, there she is. She's here. Oh, good. Okay. Can we get a quick legislative update? I know you've been keeping tabs on Tallahassee for us, and let us know what is going on. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay, Michelle, unmute yourself, and it's your turn.
Great, thank you. Let me just
Sure.
share my screen.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Let's see. Share. Oh, it's giving me a security. Sorry, hold on one second.
All right.
I've never had this one happen before.
Yeah, welcome to the world of Zoom technology.
I don't usually share my screen from my home computer, only my work one. So let's see. I'm not really sure why it's okay. I don't know why it's not letting me share, so I might have to just wing this on.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'll start my video instead.
All right.
Okay.
There you are.
So this is going to be hard to read, but I do have a PowerPoint that we'll go ahead and share in the SemDems Slack. And if you are interested in having a copy of this email to you, just reach out via the Facebook group or email the communications team or the general mailbox. So
Try
we
one more
are-
time to share, Michelle. Just try one more
Okay,
time.
sure.
We made sure you were a panelist. Sometimes that does it.
Yeah, it looked like it was a Mac setting. Yeah, I think it's something on my computer.
Okay.
So we are getting ready to start the 60-day legislative session for the state of Florida. We start the session on March 2nd and it goes through April 30th. We are currently looking at about 1,600 bills that have been filed by the state senators and the state House representatives. There's a huge challenge for us as Democrats because we currently have about 60% of the senators are Republicans, and in the House, there's 65% are Republicans. So for us, with our current representation, it's going to take a lot of lifting by us in order to get our bills heard, get our amendments heard, and try and get any of our priorities in place. So this will be a little bit difficult because I have various bills, but I'll just give you a little bit of a review of the different bills that we're looking at for this coming year. These first group of bills are ones that I think as a Democratic priority we would oppose. The first one, of course, we've seen a lot of press about HB1, which also is a Senate Bill SB 484. This is an anti-protest bill. It's been named as one of DeSantis's priorities, and he actually named this as a priority back as after George Floyd's murder. And he is now kind of rebranding it and trying to make it seem even better after the insurrection by his own party members and fans. So we are definitely against that one. It's going to increase criminal penalties for peaceful protesters. It'll silence dissent. It's in general not a bill that promotes people who want to peacefully drive change. And in Florida, this is something, because of the way our legislature is skewed, we have to have this ability to let our voices be heard in a nonviolent manner. Another bill that's coming through is Senate Bill 88, which is a farming operations bill. It basically is a way for our Republican representatives to thank their donors, like Big Sugar, for the money that they give them every year. So this gives them new protections for farm operations. It makes it really hard for people like you and us that might live somewhere in the vicinity of a farming operation that is doing things to the environment, whether it's sugar burns or pesticides. It limits our ability to hold them accountable for their actions. And there's lots of different things around it that are not good. And I have a link in the document, so you'll be able to go and read more about it. Kind of like in the Groundhog Day version of the Florida legislature, we have another ban for abortions that happen after 6 weeks. It adds criminal penalties. We saw this last year, the year before. They're going to continue to keep doing it. It's a big risk for us with the new, a lot of conservative members have been placed into our various court systems. So we need to really make sure we're staying on top of that, supporting Planned Parenthood and supporting our legislators that are fighting this, and making sure we contact people. SB 78, another Groundhog Day union buster bill. It creates an unusual burden for our union members to maintain their union membership. We saw this one again, I think last year or the year before. It's basically just their way of whittling away workers' rights and workers' voices. SB 854, it's proposes an amendment to the implementation of the minimum wage amendment that we voted and approved last year in 2020. This sounds familiar because we went through this last session with the amendment that we proposed to restore the voting rights for our returning citizens. So the difference in this particular bill, though, is that it will have to go through an amendment process. So we'll have to vote for that again. It'll have to get, I believe it's 60% have to vote in favor of it for it to pass. So hopefully we will not see that happen. What they've been proposing is taking people who are under the age of 18, people who are returning citizens, and offering them a low, and people with disabilities, and making it so that their labor would be priced differently than another person's labor. So it's the same job, everybody should be paid the same. So HB 33, which has a companion bill in the Senate, limits the ability of private websites to moderate content, another DeSantis priority. So there's a lot of not love for Twitter and Facebook for actually cracking down on hate speech, for cracking down on falsehoods around vaccines, around COVID, around election security. So it's a big priority for him. Apparently, it really has no business being in the Florida legislature, but it does grant the Florida Attorney General the ability to sue these websites on the behalf of citizens like you and I. SB 48 changes existing school voucher program. Again, we know that this is just every year whack-a-mole. In this case, they're going to consolidate the programs. It will expand the number of students that are eligible to receive vouchers for the schools. So it goes beyond just those who have been in performing schools and need the ability to get to a different school for whatever reason, or people with developmental disabilities that would be better off in a school that maybe can focus on those. So the biggest thing around this one that's concerning is that there's potentially a change to allow the use of state funds. And prior to that, it's only been allowed to be credits from companies, tax credits for companies. So constitutionally, I don't know that that part would even hold up, but it's definitely something that we need to keep tracking on. Again, there's 1,600 bills, so I'm just doing a highlight. Right now, the bills are not all of them have gone through a committee hearing, and in fact, many of them will never even see the light of day in the committees. So next month, we'll have a little bit more information about what's actually getting traction and what is, generating a lot of different comments. But as far as the bills to support, and this is where we really need everybody who's on the call and your friends and family and whoever you can share this with to start engaging with, are those bills that are being pushed, especially ones that are being pushed by Democrats, because there's not going to be a lot of incentive for the Republicans to join on. The one exception really seems to be around criminal justice reform. There are several people who in the Senate and House in the Republican Party who are very, very good about trying to push some of those changes. So just a quick one is around daytime reform, which is basically helping incentivize and reward people who are in the system to rehabilitate themselves, whether it's going through drug programs, et cetera. So that's a good one. There's also a revision proposal, HB 79, that has revising legislation to allow the granting of parole. Florida is, I believe, the only state that does not allow parole. In 1983, they changed the laws to remove parole. So unless you had been convicted of your crime before 1983, you are not eligible for granting a parole except for some very rare circumstances. So in this case, it's just, again, looking at how can we get people out of our institutions and back into our communities and, put them back in where they could be productive citizens. Let's see, we also have a great one that is really important for us in Central Florida because of our housing situation. So HB 13 and Senate Bill 510 prevent the sweep of housing trust funds into the Budget Stabilization Fund and the General Revenue Fund. So this has basically been the slush fund of our leadership over the last couple of decades. The Sadowski Fund, it is a fee that any of us who own a home or have purchased a home, our document stamps go into this fund, and it helps, they take that money and then they help build low income housing and also help provide funds for those who are low income that already have a home, have renovations to their houses. So every year that basically gets swept up into our general fund to make the shortfalls so that we can then give our big employers making lots and lots of billions of dollars, lots of very nice tax rebates. So this is a really important one. It's been underfunded for years and COVID did not help it. Another one is a bill, SB, there's actually 4 or 5 bills on it, so I'll have them in the document for you to look at, but several bills have been filed by Democrats that will increase accountability to charter and private schools. Right now they're receiving state funds, so they should be held to the same accountability standards that we are holding our public schools to. One of the other ones prohibits discrimination. So there are multiple schools in our charter, in our choices system that actually discriminate against LGBTQ teachers, students. It's definitely frustrating. So let's make sure that if they're getting funds that should be going into our infrastructure, that they are actually following the same rules that our public schools are. And another really, 2 more great ones are HB 6031, which is repealing a statute that prevents local government from enacting wage and workplace benefit requirements. So for example, when Osceola tried to pass a law that required companies to pay for sick leave, they got preempted by the state government. So we want to put that back into the municipalities so that they can make the rules that are really important to their local constituents. And then 2 other gun related laws that are being proposed are revising the laws on gun ownership for those convicted of domestic violence and strengthening some of the rules around what happens if you have been arrested or suspected of domestic violence. And another one that repeals, it's about time, stand your ground. And requires duty to retreat. So these bills, they have a really big uphill battle, and we'll post this, and as the bills start gaining traction, I'll be working with the communications team to start pushing out information so that we hope everybody on these calls will start contacting their legislators, contacting any advocates, and providing support and try and get these laws pushed through. That's it.
Oops, sorry, that was great. It was informative. It's so organized. I can't wait to see it actually in the Slack channel or whatever. So yes, and people are asking you all manner of questions in the chat. Would you be willing to share your email? And we'll make sure that you have a way of reaching out to Michelle, and we'll have an open flow of communication. But thank you for that. It was fantastic
Absolutely.
information, and we're really glad that you were able to boil it down for us. I'm sorry about the technological.
I'll have to test it next time.
It's okay. We're good. Before we go to Rob for the presentation of the budget, I forgot to. We need to approve. We have some new members to vote in. Sue reminded me that I did not put that on the agenda, and that is completely my fault. Sue, what do we have to do with this? How many do we have, and how do we do this?
Yeah, so I'll just announce who the members or prospective members are who are joining, and whether they are joining as a regular member, an associate member, or an at-large member. We have all 3 tonight. And I'll tell you their name, their precinct, and then I will make a motion to vote them into membership. So at the end of this list of names, we will need to make a motion, get it seconded, and take a vote. Okay. So with that said, I would like to hopefully welcome into membership tonight the following individuals. First, George Disler, who is in Precinct 10. Next is Stacy Busek, who's in 44. And then Renee Roy and Trinetta McClinton, who both join us from Precinct 54. And then Jill Cousins joining us from Precinct 56. Autumn Garrett taking over a spot in Precinct 69, which is all 5 of those, six of those people are joining as regular members, regular voting members. And then Deb Jepson, who has faithfully served us as a precinct captain in 69 for many years, is actually stepping down to allow room for Autumn, and is we want to convert her tonight to an at-large member because she's still going to lead up our fundraising team and be part of our leadership. And then in addition to all those folks and that change, we also would like to bring on board Fatima Jaffer and in Precinct 19 and Larry Winkowski in Precinct 21 as associate precinct captains. Those precincts are already full with regular members, so we'd like to welcome these 2 aboard as associate members.
That's great. That's great.
Yep. And so just so you know, that brings our total list to like 87 regular members and another 10. So like 97 people all together that make up our roster today. We still have 30 empty precincts, but that number is down since last meeting by 3. So,
Yep.
and we certainly have the bodies to cover them in the meantime. So that's wonderful.
Great.
And with that said, I would like to make a motion to vote the list of people into the membership tonight under the status as stated.
I'll second
Okay,
it.
do I hear a second of that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Larry, this might be a last minute throw something up. Ah, look at you. So great. Would you please vote, approve these new members as stated, the associate members and the switcheroos that we're doing and welcoming our new people. We're very happy to have you. And our goal, which we will talk about in just a moment or a couple of minutes, is you'll see how we are slowly chipping away at some of these spots. So somebody tell me when we have enough of the votes tabulated, and we'll move on from that once we have a
Another 10 seconds, I'll shut it down.
Okay, cool. Thank you. You guys are so good. Look at us. We're moving right through this thing. It's great. We also have a very special guest coming up in just a minute. 100%. There we go. Well, welcome to all of you with a 100% unanimous acclamation. You guys are welcome to the SemDems, and we're very happy to have you. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and we need your support. We need your opinions. We need you to put your shoulder to the wheel with all of us as we turn Seminole County blue. So welcome. Thank you so much for all of that. Let's see now, Rob, I promise you that it is your turn. Rob has been nice enough to take over our budget and finance committee, and he is going to present our budget for the year 2021.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, Democrats. So let me bring up the proposed budget. And let me move my picture out of the way. Okay. So if you look at the January 21, that is now actual. We just voted on that. So those are our actual numbers, our beginning cash balance and our ending cash balance here on the bottom. The budget takes some things into assumption or makes assumptions. And I'm sure later in this meeting, fundraising will be talking about some of this. The big driving force in everything we try to do is based on bringing in money. As much as we hate that, that's the cold hard reality of politics in its current form. So there are some things that I will say I think are easily doable. They'll take a lot of hard work, but we have 3 city elections this year, and our goal is to be able to give and 2 seats in each. But our goal is to be able to devote $10,000 for each city in candidate support, in addition to our routine endeavors, the things we do, meetings and events, tabling at events once hopefully that begins again, and you kind of see all of that start later in the year. Summer, we're anticipating and hoping enough people get vaccinated, we start having in-person meetings, so that shows up on here as well. But the items that you see here in kind of a Johnson's baby aspirin orange, and hopefully that shows up. Those are contingent. We have to start raising more money. I have them as one time, but they can also be monthly contributions. In this box right here, that is actual, but we need to start making commitments to bring more money in on a recurring basis, and also drive more people to our Shopify store and buy more of our goods. And then one times going after big donors, phone calls. Those of you that have been candidates, you know the drill. We need to flip seats, and municipal races like we have this year are sometimes the best way to do that. We saw that with Chad in Castleberry. We saw that soil and water. So there's a lot of opportunity for flipping seats and building our bench. Additionally, it's just the month-to-month recurring fee. So we've got our rent here in these boxes, utilities. that makes up 3 or 4 different things. You've got Duke Energy, Spectrum, US Mobile, and then we have additional recurring MailChimp, that's our email servers, as well as Meetup Ads, GoDaddy, that runs our website. So those are all here in projections. The bottom line here is we're starting with a cash balance of $87.44 at the beginning of the year, and my goal is about to end right back there, and that's with raising a little more than $60,000. So the goal is to have enough money left over come the beginning of 2022 to cover our initial expenses. We'll be heading into a midterm election. Obviously, our fundraising goals will be much larger, but the month to months you see here. But ultimately, the goal is to whatever money we raise, we get right out the door and invest in the community and get out the vote, in voter engagement, and registering new voters, and of course helping what we hope to be 6 candidates that run in 3 city elections. So any questions? Any questions in the chat?
Let me see. Yes, we will. You know, people are talking about how it takes money to run, and that is absolutely correct. And this year, we're going to talk about in just a moment. There's nothing from Facebook, and I didn't see any questions in the chat. Hearing none or seeing none from either Facebook or Zoom, I would like to have a motion to accept the the budget. I'm sorry, as presented tonight. All right, somebody, oh wait, Jeff wants you to explain that the $15,000 is not included. So
it is included in this current budget that we're raising. So the goal is we're going to have to either through recurring expenses being higher than what I have proposed there, or through one-time donations that we go after big donors. But we are including that. I'm just showing that if we're unable to raise that money, those are things that we'll have to remove. So in effect, I guess, Jeff, to answer your question, if we can't raise the money, we obviously can't give it. We have to stay fiscally responsible. So it's contingent on us being able to do that. But our goal is to be able to do it. We think we can blow through that. But in order to keep things moving, as always at the beginning of the year, we try to get as much of this into a budget that the membership approves, so that when it comes time to start releasing these funds, it's already been approved.
okay, thank you. We did have Brittany move to accept the budget as presented, and Chris Kolos seconded that. Any other questions? Seeing none or hearing none, we'll put up a vote, please, for you to approve the budget as presented. And then we'll give it a couple seconds for you to click away, and we'll move along. We have some new people, and I want to talk to. I'm sorry about the dog barking in the background. I do want. Oh, sorry, it's a beagle. He howls. I really wish I could help you. Hang on, Harley, come here. Yeah, I don't know what he sees. Maybe there's a bear in the backyard. Never really clear. Okay, now what maybe for some of the new people who don't know, we try to do some community outreach every month with SemDems. Last month there was a wonderful, thanks to Kathy Wallace, she connected us to the Seminole County Public Schools. There are thousands of kids, who live in their cars, and we had a big personal hygiene or toiletry fundraiser. We gathered all of this stuff at our office, and we had a drive, a toiletry drive, I guess you would say, not a fundraiser. And we took it over to the Seminole. Kathy was instrumental in getting this done, and they were so grateful. And this month we have a new community outreach. So first of all, I want to thank Kathy for having that hugely successful drive last month, but I want you guys to really listen up, because I'm going to turn it over to Marion Williams. She has a lot of hats, but in this case, it's Black History. Oh, the budget was approved. Thank you very much for that. So thank you, 98% approval. Marion, if you could unmute yourself. We have 2 organizations, as February is Black History Month, that we are asking for you to at least educate yourself about. And if you can see your way clear, we have an Act Blue tab on our website. Hopefully communications will put that up along with the two organizations. And Marion, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, congratulations first to the new precinct captains and especially Trinetta. She's one of my colleagues and I want to welcome her to the team as well as everybody else.
That's great.
The two groups that I'm recommending is Glorious Hands out of Sanford. It's a girls mentoring academy. And they mentor young ladies between the ages of 10 and 19 years old. And they have many, many projects. They work in the community. And you can read about them online. You can go glorioushands.com and you can find out all about them. And the president is doing a wonderful job with these young ladies, so forth and so on. The other group is Youth Works, and it's with the NAACP, and they have young kids, I should say children, from ages 5 up until 17. And they do volunteering in the neighborhoods. They visit nursing homes. Of course, they can't go now, but they help to feed the patients and help them with arts and crafts and do entertaining and they do Black History projects. They have performed at the state level with the national NAACP. They donate and sponsor food drives and help out the needy and so forth and so on. And these are real young adults, or young adults, I should say. And one of their projects they want to do is go to Washington, D.C. And also they want to visit the NAACP national office. And that will be the first ever if they get a chance to go there. So they got special projects going on. So these are the two ones I'm recommending. If you are willing to donate in any amount, they'll never turn it down. So
All right,
we happy. And this would be great that you're going to recognize them for Black History. It'll make them happy.
So yes, this is our focus in the month of February. If you are interested, we will put their links on our website. We will make sure that we have ways that you can connect to these organizations. And we actually, I think Kathy told me earlier today that we do have an Act Blue tab, so you'll be able to make that donation right there on
any amount is welcome. Thank you so
there
much.
it is. Okay, Brittany is putting it in the chat box. Glorious Hands and all of that. So that's fantastic, Marion. Thank you for turning us on to these two very worthy organizations. That's terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see. We're gonna do a report from the chair really briefly here because we have a special guest, and we're going to continue our conversation about Black History Month and turn it over to Pasha Baker in just a moment. When for the report from the chair and for those of you that are new, I really am excited that you are here. I wish we were in person, and that day will come once we get some more vaccines in our community. But in the meantime, I want you to know that Tracy and I have put our heads together, and we have decided on 4 initiatives, I will call them. By that, I mean that we are focusing this year in 2021, it's an off year. Of course, we have municipal elections, but so we are not taking our foot off the gas this year at all. The 4 initiatives that we have, and I don't want to be a broken record. If you've heard about these before, you will continue to hear about them from me and from Tracy so that we can move the needle in Seminole County. The first one is registering people to vote, and we will have a complete report on that in just a moment, but we have made huge progress in registering people to vote even since the November election. Look, in 2016, it was completely lopsided. The Republicans out-registered us and out-owned this county. It was blood red for a long time. In 2018, we really narrowed the gap. And in 2020, it was about, I want to say 1,200, something like that. You'll have the full numbers in just a moment. But now those numbers, we are completely closing them up. But this is a priority for us when it comes to voter registration. That's priority number 1. The second one you already heard about, and that is expanding our precinct captain reach. We have 80 precincts. There are still about 30 of them that don't have precinct captains. But when we started this journey together as chair and vice chair, we started it with 36 openings. Last month, we were down to 33. Now we're down to 30 precincts. So we have made an improvement of nearly 20% just since a month ago. So we are, again, laser focused on putting boots on the ground, people in the precincts, because that's what's going to get Democrats elected across this county. The third one Tracy is going to speak to, and that has to do with identifying, training, and recruiting candidates. And of course, the last one is getting out the vote. So Tracy, will you please talk about that, what we're doing with training and identifying and recruiting candidates here in Seminole for this year and next year?
Yes, first of all, I just want to say to everyone, thank you so much and welcome to our first board meeting, our general meeting. And I'm really excited about this year. I'm working with everyone for the next couple of years to turn Seminole County blue down ballot. That is my goal in life. Running twice, I want us to achieve it. And towards that end, I'm dedicating myself to help pick and select candidates along with Kyle Hopkins and his team. We are in search of candidates, and my whole goal is to find good candidates, groom them, train them, and take them step by step from being a person to a politician to the candidate to hopefully a winner, and setting the bench. And that's why these municipal races are so very important, because we can set the bench. Once we get in there and progress, we can move up the ladder, but we need to get in there and make inroads. And I'm excited to say, without naming names yet, that we are almost close to securing someone running in Lake Mary. And we have solicited someone in Altamont who we're waiting on. And then the next step will be Oviedo and getting rid of the mayor in Oviedo, who I hear is poison and whom we must replace. So if anyone knows anyone who is interested in running for office and needs help or wants to know the ins and outs, I will be your personal mentor. You can call my cell at any time of the day and I will answer every question. Like, what do I wear? What do I do? How much money do I need? Where should I go? Who should I talk to? Who should do my social media? Whatever is involved, I will give you the ins and outs and all the secrets to running for office, and I will hold your hand the entire way. I promise you that. The other thing, and Lynn touched on this before, is registration, which Deborah Poulalion runs that committee, and she's fabulous. And we're going to touch on that as well, because now there are so many people converting from the Republican Party into the Democratic Party, and we have to strike while the iron is hot. Howard gives me numbers every day. I think this morning's number was 503. That's the difference. If we can close that gap, but I want better than closing the gap. I want insurance votes. I would like to have 2,000, 3,000 more than the Republicans. I would like to beat them at their own game, and then we'll have the insurance votes and we can sit in a position of strength. That's what we need to do to move forward on this. So again, everyone, I look forward to a really good year of hard work, but also a good time, enjoying each other and having fun in the process, and making sure that Seminole County's on the map.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, one of the things that we, when we talked about money and we talked about the budget, one of the things that we talked about in our board meeting, and we are also really focused on the way we're going to help these candidates by providing them with support, by providing them with direction, by providing them maybe even with staff or a direction on how to get their signs done, or maybe help them pay for some things, is obviously a financial. We're going to give them a financial boost. One of the best ways to do that is for you to make, if you can, a recurring donation to the SemDems. I did it last week. And it is something that is very important. Those recurring donations help pay for our operations, but there are ways that you can, and I do want to say, I have to tell you that we have had a very generous donation from a politician who had money left over in her PAC and gave us thousands of dollars. Tracy Kagan donated to the SemDems just this week. Made a very generous donation. If you can do it, it doesn't have to be thousands of dollars. It can be $25. It can be whatever, you can see your way clearly.
It could be $5.
Right. It can absolutely be.
A cup of coffee. Put it on recurring. If we get 400 people who give $20 a month, it's a lot of money in recurring, and there's a lot of money in politics is muscle. And you got to move a lot of muscle to get where you want to go.
All right, let's now move to the next item on our agenda, because we're talking about moving the needle, and the way we're going to do that, one of the only ways that we're going to make a difference in Seminole County is to take that lopsided number and to flip it around so that we have more Democrats now than Republicans. So we have appointed our own Stacey Abrams. She is brilliant at this. Deborah Poulalion, a candidate for supervisor of elections, has taken on our voter registration chair. And she has a presentation briefly to let you know where we are and what the game plan is to get out and spread out across this county and get people registered to vote. So Deb, I see you on there. If you would take yourself off mute, and it's all yours. Oh, there she is. Hi.
Thank you so much. And I love talking about voter registration. I do have some slides to share, which I believe I just started doing. All right, we're going to keep moving the needle. That's our goal, right? And as we've discussed, as of yesterday, the gap was 503. So on this slide, you can see how far we've come, and we just need to keep going in this direction. So our goal is to have a voter registration activity every month. And this month, we're going to tie into what Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy talked about. And I actually watched a lot of the impeachment today, and I wanted to just talk about this quote that I heard from Voltaire that one of the impeachment managers said, who was, "Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities." And I think Seminole County has people who are finally saying, I don't believe this absurdity any longer. We're seeing them leave the Republican Party, but when I look closely at the numbers, a lot of them are just going NPA, and I think they need an invitation. So we're starting an initiative for this month to reach out to Republican women with college degrees and invite them to look at the Democratic Party, 1,900 people. So for all our new precinct captains, this is going to be your first project. So I am so excited to show you the flyer that we have made. This will be a literature campaign. So this is the front. And the point of this is that we are positive, we are working together, we want to do things good for our community. And on the back, we talk about, my favorite line in here is, we stand by our values, and our values are simple. And we talk about our values here, and we just make a simple ask: join us, join us. And the information is all there for people to update their party affiliation and to connect with us. So how are we going to do this? Well, our goal is by next meeting that we will have passed out 1,900 of those beautiful flyers, and our activity lead will coordinate with our new cluster captains. So we've got precinct captains, and they are divided into groups called clusters, and there's a leader for each of those. And so they will be contacting you, our wonderful precinct captains, to participate this. And I know that some people, a lit drop is not safe for you right now, and we will have other options next month. But for this month, in order to be cost effective, this is how we're going to do it. If you are not a precinct captain,
what are you doing?
No.
No. Oh no.
Connect you. In the future, and this is my last slide, is some of our other initiatives will be that we are going to connect to people whose vote by mail is about to expire. That's really important, because we know that if people with vote by mail are more likely to vote. And so those will be Dems that we're reaching out to. Early voting at Seminole State College, getting out information about Amendment 4, voting for returning citizens, more voting information in Spanish, outreach to new movers, which our wonderful team has already been doing, reaching out to people who are living in apartments, because there's a lot of churn and there are people there that are not registered to vote. And then we're going to find out how to find the eligible but not registered. That is a funny sounding phrase, but it means people that aren't on our list, and we need to get to them. So thank you very much for letting me talk, and precinct captains, you will hear soon how we're going to do this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are going to, there's just there are questions about why are we not reaching out to this group? What about this group? What about the other group? We have a game plan here, as to how to target those non-voting Dems. And yes, we are absolutely not ignoring our own people and going with Republicans. This is just the first tranche of people because they're fleeing the party. And these are people who we think, we have targeted for possible inclusion in our tent. It's a big tent and we're trying to reach out to them. So
1 month initiative while it's on people's minds, and then we move on.
All right, thank you so much. And now I am so excited. I heard it's interesting. Somebody called me from the Orange County from the Democratic Party today, and they said how impressed they were with the SemDems, and because so many candidates who ran last time or the time before or whatever stay connected to the SemDems. Whether it is Deborah, whether it is Tracy, whether it is, all of Christina who runs the Hispanic caucus, so many candidates, of course, Tracy and I, both candidates last time. One of the other candidates who has also taken on our small business initiative is Pasha Baker. Pasha is here tonight, though, not with her small business hat on. She is here to give us a tour for Black History Month of the Goldsboro Museum. So it's yours, Pasha. I hope that you can hear me, and if you would release your microphone, and you can take it away.
All right. How are y'all today, SemDems?
You're sideways, but you're good.
Hold on.
Better. Yep.
Let's see if there we go. There we go. So we're going to go through a quick tour of Goldsboro. And so welcome to Goldsboro, everybody. And I know some of you all have been here. And I'm going to turn my light down a little bit. Yeah, that looks about right. All right, so welcome to Goldsboro. Goldsboro is your second incorporated Black township in the United States. The first one is Eatonville. They were both founded by two brothers. One brother founded Goldsboro, the other brother founded Eatonville a few years later. The remarkable story about Goldsboro and Eatonville and being two brothers and being two Black men. Goldsboro was founded in 1891. Quick question, SemDems, and hopefully y'all can see it on the chat. Can I make my screen bigger? No, I don't think so. No, I cannot make the screen bigger. Though you can also view all this on our website, as well as we have quite a few documentaries and tours already loaded on the website and on our Facebook and social media pages, such as YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to look there as well. So, or you can also just visit us. That's right, Tracy. They always come. The Merriweathers, definitely. So the remarkable thing about Goldsboro is a township from 1891, and it lived 20 years to about 1911. So in 1891, remember, we were emancipated in 1865. The state of Florida was emancipated May 20th, 1865. 1 month before the ending of enslavement in Galveston, Texas. So Florida wasn't too far along. It just ended enslavement 1 month before we celebrate Juneteenth. So a little bit of Florida history for you. So remember, during enslavement, we weren't allowed to read or write. So here you have two Black men, two brothers, not only living off the land, but incorporating entire township. An entire city. And the same way you run a city today is the same way you ran a city yesterday. So we had our own mayor, clerk of court, treasurer, tax collector, marshal, alderman, the Goldsboro jail, the Goldsboro Black Chamber of Commerce, everything. So what happened is the city of Sanford embezzled the charter. So it stole the charter from Goldsboro, left it in a little bit over like 10 grand and some change in debt. And it prevented also another township of Sanford Heights from incorporating as well. Where you see the city of Sanford at would only be the part by Lake Monroe, because there was Goldsboro and there was also another city, Sanford Heights as well. All right. And so the mayor Forest Lake, and where you see a lot of things, there's Lake Forest Academy, Lake Forest, the subdivision out of 446. Those are things that were named after Mayor Forest Lake. He embezzled so much money from the city of Sanford that the city of Sanford almost went bankrupt and almost had to be taken over. And that is the person who drafted the bill in Tallahassee. He was a mayor and legislator. He drafted the bill to wipe out the charter of Goldsboro. Why? The same reason for today. The reason why there are wars and those things fought for land. There's only so much land in the world. As well, like I said, the city of Sanford was not doing very well. The mayor had embezzled all of the funds and the city was broke. It was barely surviving. Goldsboro was a thriving Black city. And just like other Black cities around the country, such as Black Wall Street and others, the people of Sanford were jealous of the people of Goldsboro. All right. So I'm going to show you a few of my favorite pieces here in the museum. All right. So my first one, what do you think the people of Goldsboro did once they embezzled the city's charter? Did the people fight back? Of course. So here, think we can turn this around. Yeah, there we go. So here is the 40+ year lawsuit for Goldsboro versus the city of Sanford. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court of Florida. Supreme Court of Florida. There in 1953, 40+ years. All right, so it went all the way up to the Supreme Court of Florida. And that lawsuit symbolized, when it went up to the state of Florida said, well, we weren't the ones who did it. And then the state of Florida said again that, okay, and then the people of Goldsboro said, hey, we want our money back because you can see here, it left the town a little over 10 grand in debt. And the people of Goldsboro say, hey, we want our taxes back where we paid for the city of Goldsboro. We paid our dues. And of course, the state of Florida said that wasn't us again. All right. And so that's how Goldsboro came to be as you see it today. Of course, it was neglected for many, many decades by the city of Sanford as well when that happened, because of course, that was during the Jim Crow era. One of my other favorite pieces when we're talking about women is this one. All right. The property that this building is on right now is the Goldsboro Post Office. And you see a woman's name here, Miss Rosa Boykin. And you see right here, this is the official post office department. In 1898, Miss Rosa Boykin ran and was the postmistress of Goldsboro in 1898. What does that mean? White women did not even earn the right to vote until 1920. And here you have in Goldsboro a Black woman that is running the entire post office. All right. Now, my next favorite piece in the building all right. So would be this one. This is going to be, and I hope it's focusing. Can y'all see it okay? Can you comment in the chat? All right. This is going to be, let me get I'm trying to get you to the date. All right. Here's what you want to focus on. A teacher's monthly report. And that is November 1908. Let me make sure you can see the 1908 part. And of course, you know, Seminole County was not even born then. And the same way a teacher's monthly report is now, it's the same way a teacher's report was then here in Goldsboro. As you can see, the school did a lot of things. Writing, orthography, number work, language work, nature work, geography, oral arithmetic, written arithmetic, English grammar, US history, physiology, algebra, civil government, general history, rhetoric, geometry, bookkeeping, Latin, physics, botany, zoology, and vocal music. And remember, the children also had to work in the fields, because what was Sanford? Remember, Sanford was your #1 exporter of celery. We have one of the largest Jim Crow collections here, Celery City. So when you come to Sanford, you have Celery City Crafts, you have Celery Keys, a subdivision, you have Celery Avenue. You have all of that. And how much did the city of Sanford profit from that celery? $8 million a year, while the Blacks, who were the laborers, got paid 25 cents a day. All right. So one of my other pieces that I wanted to show you, one of my favorite pieces in this museum, we have a few of them. To take a proper tour, it takes a little bit over an hour to get through both of the buildings, as well as the outside. We do house the Trayvon Martin Memorial. We have our Goldsboro Art Square. For this month, we will have over 30 plus virtual events, which you can see live on Facebook. And start going to them. You will see the Klan, Unmasking Klansford, where we talk about the demise of Goldsboro, the rise in Sanford, Celery City, but also the rise of the Ku Klux Klan here in the city of Sanford, and how all the public officials were Klansmen. All right, little pickaninnies. Have you all ever heard the term pickaninnies? No. All right, little pickaninnies was meant to degrade Blacks. And the term was meant to degrade us. And here you have, you see their faces were dirty. The alphabet is out of line. Their clothes are dirty. Their hair is unkept. Their socks are falling down from their ankles. Because here, what whites believed is that Blacks were not as smart as whites. And so in order to degrade them, they would depict Blacks just like this, as well as say, call them pickaninnies, because they believed that Blacks were nice people, but they needed the gentle hand and the guiding hand of whites to guide them in life, because they weren't that smart. So older Blacks, that's what it means. And when we say how we carry ourselves. And this is one of the stereotypes and stigmas that have stayed with Blacks a long time, is depicting them as lazy, or as not as smart, or having unkept clothes and unkept hair. That's why stereotypes and representation is so important in all fields as well. All right. We are going over here to our war exhibition. As we, I don't know what you mean, Tracy. Oh, no problem. We're going over to our war exhibition. And here you see, you know, this is dedicated to our colored military, our colored fighting troops. It's this exhibition. And of course, you all know that the Sanford Airport, as you know it today, was the Sanford Naval Air Station. And we do, I believe we have, that's only one. I've only seen it. I don't even know if the airport has, because they came here once. I'm not sure if they even know that. I'm not sure if they have one as well. How we carry ourselves. When we say how we carry ourselves, it is from the way we dress, from everything. You don't have your clothes sagging. Older people, it's the way you carry yourself. Nice iron clothes, very kept, because of the stereotypes that were portrayed for Blacks for many, many decades. All right. All right. So here, and all right, so now I'm back in focus. So here we have our colored fighting troops, our Blacks that are dedicated to the service. And what's so significant about Blacks in the service? Remember when the service first started, when you look at the Civil War, Blacks were not allowed to have guns because of that stereotype. They did not believe we were smart enough to have guns. So Blacks, the only thing Black men could do in the military was either janitorial work or cook. That's it. So that's what makes the Tuskegee Airmen and pilots, and you just saw President Biden elect. That's what makes that so significant. That's why we're still fighting for those things. Because before we weren't allowed. And that's why we are on the front lines now. And that's why those barriers still need to be broken. All right. And I think, how many more minutes do we have? We'll show you our black and white fountain here. And I'll tell you the history of the black and white fountains. And these are original. The white fountain is here. The black fountain is here. What's the difference in the fountains? Most people say this one is white and it's a little taller, it's nicer, it's porcelain. This one is aluminum. So the difference in the water is no difference. They came from the same spout in the back. This one, the spout was in the front. This one, the spout was in the front. The black fountain, the spout was in the back, so your clothes got dirty. That's it. That's it. And I'll tell one story here about the bomb heard around the world, where we're talking about, you know, earlier we just talked about Deborah and her ability to do the voter registration. And we talked about Miss Marion, we just spoke about the NAACP. So the bomb heard around the world. Repercussions from Florida blast make it explosive, most explosive since Hiroshima atom bomb. The bomb went off with a deafening roar at 10:20 on Christmas night. So there was Mr. and Mrs. Harry and Harriet V.T. and Harriet V. Moore. They were both educators, and they were both educators, and they were from over there in Mims, over there on the coast. And what they did is they advocated, they said for every $1 that you spend on a white child's education, you spend 20 cents on a black child's education. So how could their educations ever be equal? So what they did is they organized voting branches and voting registrations, and also got NAACP branches. And they were over here in Goldsboro, then Sanford, getting blacks to register to vote and making sure they did follow through the vote. So on Christmas night at their house in Mims, the Ku Klux Klan placed a bomb underneath their bedroom door as their children slept next to them. The bomb went off. And you know where Mims is on the coast. The cars are not the same. This is in the early 50s. The roads are not the same as today as well. So they traveled here from Mims to here in Sanford because the only doctor that would operate on blacks was Dr. Stark here. Their children, of course, Mr. Moore died that night. His wife died a week later. The children actually lived up until the last one just passed a few years ago, and she was 80 something. And she was 80 something. All right. So that is our moment in Black history today. And I hope I spent my time wisely, and I hope you all learned some things and learned about little pickaninnies. And do you know what I don't think I mentioned this. For little pickaninnies here, little pickaninnies, do you know what the term became known as? Little pickaninnies. Kid. That's why older Blacks do not say the word kid. To this day, I have never heard my mom or my aunt or grandmother ever use the word kid. Because instead, for degrading Blacks, because that name is a long name, little pickaninnies, they said, come here, kid. So that's why older Blacks, they say, come here, child, or come here, children. But the word doesn't mean as much because it's so widely used now. So it's so widely used now. And I'll give you a 360 view of it. Some Bodini Brown. We have our Blacks dedicated to politics in the other room, Black architecture, Black schools, churches, all that kind of good stuff. So if you would ever like a tour, please just call us. There are by appointment only. Today for Black History Month, we have uploading a presentation. Next week will be on Miss Georgia Black, who is our first transgender woman in the early 1900s who lived here in Goldsboro. And we are talking about the African-American LGBT community as well. All right, so Miss Georgia Black in the African-American LGBT community. So we really try to be thoughtful in our programming and exhibitions and all of that kind of good stuff. So if you would ever like a tour, just let us know. And you can also see all of this online.
Oh, that's good. I was going to ask you if there's a way that we can see presentations online. That's great.
Of course, we're all digital.
Yeah,
we have 30 plus good. Digital this month. And then also you passed along our calendar. So you all have that as well.
I did. Yep. Okay, Pasha, thank you so much. Thank you. What a great presentation. That's good. I appreciate all of that.
That was fabulous, Pasha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, it's awesome. So yeah, we are, let's see. I'm just trying to open up my phone. There are a couple of things that we want to make sure that we're doing. I want to, oh, wait a minute. I do want to remind you guys that every Friday on Facebook Live, Tracy and I go to the SemDem office and we do a Facebook Live episode. Tomorrow will be episode number 4. We do it. It's called Chat with the Chairs. It's from 3 to 3:30, but it's your opportunity to ask questions and to, to get our initiatives out there and all of that. And so we have a little bit of fun doing that. And that'll be tomorrow at 3 o'clock and every Friday at 3 o'clock live from the SemDem office. Do we have any, oh, here's something really exciting. This is good. I want to get my screen back. How do we go to gallery view? There we go. So I figured out a way to make Pasha full screen. So I figured that out. Now I got to get back to seeing all of you. We want to actually acknowledge our February activist of the month. That is Nikki. Nikki is a graphic designer and she continues to give and give and give back to this organization. She was the one who was in charge of all of the literature, all of the design of the stuff for the campaign during the last season, during the last cycle. And she was even involved as recently as this week with the presentation that Deborah has with the flyer that we're going to print for voter registration. She did what we couldn't do. We looked at each other and said, I don't know how to do this. And we gave it to Nikki, and like magic, she has donated her time and her wonderful approach. And she is our activist of the month. She has put together so much time, and thank you so much. We could never kick it up a level, make it look professional, make it look as beautiful as it did. And we couldn't do that without you, Nikki. So we want to congratulate Nikki for being our activist of the month. So there's that. Is there any new business? We are almost ready to wrap this thing up. Let's see. Is there any new business? If you want to put something in the chat that I have forgotten, I wouldn't surprise me if I have forgotten something. So I'm not up. And there's my dog. If I don't see any new business, other than the dog, who is speaking up for new business, I guess we are about ready to adjourn. I will stay on for another couple of minutes. If you guys want anything that you wanted to not do, maybe in, in the chat. I will stay on for just a couple of minutes, and let's see. I guess then we need a motion to adjourn because the February meeting is.
I know, but before you
It's
adjourn,
8:30, so we're good, right? You know, that was our goal, to get it in and out by 8:30.
but before you adjourn,
Yes, ma'am.
let people know that we now have an LGBTQ committee.
Oh, yes, we do. We have a club, LGBTQ club, and it is
A Muslim club?
A what? A Muslim club as
Muslim
well.
club?
The LGBTQ club is headed by Tyler Kraus. And the Muslim club, we are just rolling that out. Nadia has graciously agreed to form a club as well, a caucus. And so, yes, we are expanding. We want to make sure that everybody understands what everybody on this call knows. And that is that the Democrats have a big tent, right? And that we are inclusive, that we have a diverse group, that our board looks like the community. And this is one of the best ways of doing that. So I was at the Hispanic caucus. They are trying to regroup so that we make sure that we are touching all corners of the county and all parts of the county. So I just wanted to let you know that is.
And I want to take a moment out to congratulate Lynn on her very first general meeting. You did a fabulous job. And thank you to all the participants. It was a wonderful, wonderful meeting. And we did it in an hour and a half. So I'm proud of all of us. And thank you all for your input.
Oh, okay. I want to remind you, we had one more reminder from our secretary, and she said, just a reminder for your monthly recurring donations. There is a way to do that online. When you go, you click, you get a recurring donation at whatever level. This is the way we're going to put Democrats in office. That's the goal of this organization, is to get Democrats elected up and down the ballot. So the way we're going to do that is to have you help us, to have you with boots on the ground. We are gunning for the Republicans. And this is, maybe that's a bad reference. Who knows? All I know is we are going to, you're not allowed to say gunning for people. It doesn't sound nice. But I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is we are going to take this county by storm, and we are going to turn this county blue because of all of you, because of all of your hard work. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of that. Yep.
See you tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
All right. Thank you for being here. You guys can sign off. I will stay on. I don't know if Tracy has a quick minute. We'll stay on for anybody that wants to do that and answer any questions that you have privately or in our, in a smaller group. But thank you very much. And
wear your masks. Wear your masks.
Wear your masks, definitely. Wear your masks, wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart, do all of that because we need you and we need you to be healthy. So there's that. Thank you, Chris. That's nice. We had lots of things to do. Oh, we didn't do a motion to adjourn. Son of a gun. I said it.
I seconded.
Okay, good. Sorry. Okay, good. Whew. All right. Christina did it. Tracy seconded. And then I guess, oh, drat. Larry, what am I doing here?
We're voting. We're voting on adjournment.
Oh, you're voting. Okay, I can't vote. So sorry. Poll in progress. I see that. Harley, you're really a pain today. This dog doesn't do anything but sleep all day long until I get on the Zoom call, and now he's barking like a crazy person. This is a 13-year-old. I'm telling you, Wade's not home, or Wade would take the dog. But so now I am like, I'm feeding him pieces of fish. I'm feeding him carrots, this dog. I'm feeding him, trying to keep him quiet, but it didn't work. I'm sorry about that.
Maybe if it was a good thing.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Wait, Tracy Starkweather wants a list of board members, emails, and positions. I think it's on there, but I will make sure that, yes. Well, I will tell, I know it's on Slack. So
is it on the website? Is it on our website?
It's on our, I don't know if it's on our website, but I know it's on Slack. But I'll make sure you know where to get it. So because
you just can't get it.
There it is.
Of us, the digital tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. It's in the digital toolkit. So if you go to Slack, you go to Precinct Captains, it's right there. The Precinct Captain Digital Toolkit, which is a terrific resource, by the way. That Slack channel for Precinct Captains, it's excellent and awesome. So I have, what I was really excited about, I didn't know about those 3 new precinct captains because I thought there are still 2 or 3 more that we have in our back pocket. So we could be down into the 20s in very short order. So anyway, yeah. Harley, you're gonna make me. I swear, this is only ice water, but he's gonna drive me to drink with this barking. If there's nothing else that's new and exciting, then I guess if nobody has any, good night, everybody. Good night, Mary Ann. I feel like it's